staring at the World War III report. It's the 13th of November, and we have some interesting stories. We'd probably start with the most important that I saw out there today. So let's share a guinea pig, shall we? That nice, cute little fuzzy pet. Well, it turns out that this pet's turning out on the plates at a certain eatery in Queens as a, culinary go-to. And it's at La Casa del Cuy. Cuy means guinea pig. And so the house of guinea pigs. Anyhow, so yeah, when they pass you the plate, will it squeak? Had to get that one out of the way. And we now have a row going on over info with respect to UFOs. You know, that UFO craze that always comes up when they don't want you to be paying attention to something else. That one that'll actually never provide any real information. Okay. Now, the United Nations has come to the defense of our friendly little guinea pig pet friends by saying at COP29 that they are declaring war on meat. They want to ban meat, so it's a war on the peasants' meat, and I guess it's let them eat cake. So I want to explain what cake is. It's like a grass thing that's compressed really hard, and you throw it out in nuggets for the cows. See, so you don't have to eat the cows, you can eat the cake. Yeah, anyway. There goes William again. COP29, thinking about the rest of us. We have a new head that's about to be voted in Brussels at the EU. That's German. She's espousing, war by any means to maintain our struggle with Russia by means of our NATO friendships. NATO was created to be a defensive organization. Now, I'm not going to make a judgment here, but I'm going to ask a question. Has it the organization outlived its usefulness? All right. I got that out. Now, the FBI has been very busy. There were documents that were shared from the National Geospatial and Intelligence Agency. Intelligence Agency and the National Security Agency. Now, these were documents that were shareable or viewable on the Five Eyes: Britain, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the United States are the five viewers of that. Well, this U.S. government worker was on, he was in Cambodia. And he just got charged with leaking classified information on Iran. Gee, how did that happen? He was arrested this week. He's about to make his first court appearance in Guam, and his name is Asif William Rothman. I'm just talking guys out there in general. We have some new Chinese demands, and it's to the Philippines. And their demand is cede your claims to the South China Sea. Give up all your territorial waters. I have an answer for that sort of thing, but I'm old. And Mr. Reagan did this. What you do is you recommission the Missouri and the New Jersey with their 9 16-inch rifles, and you go play bumper cars, with the Chinese fleet. Good armor on those things, armor in depth, nearly unsinkable. Okay, we have some very important information. For 6 years, a friendly Midwesterner politician, political wonk, worked with, Mr. McConnell, Senator Mitch McConnell. We'll just call him Mitchie because we're talking friendly right now, right? Mitchie. Well, apparently, the Senate decided that was a good reason to vote for Johnny Thune. You notice there was that pregnant pause right there. I did that on purpose. Oh, Senate, do you know what happened 2 weeks ago? Was anybody paying attention? Next. Today, Biden and Trump spent quite a bit of time today at the White House in the Oval Office. Nice fire. Nice log cabin fire in the fireplace. Very kind of homey feeling. And Biden talked about the peaceful transfer of power, and he welcomed President Trump back to the White House. So I think he's feeling a little disappointed, Biden is, and it's sad, you come to the end of one thing and to the start of another thing. It's the end of a chapter. There'll be longing and lamenting and hopes and dreams, depending on where you're at in the electoral divide. But here we are, and we are with the two heads of the two parties talking about a peaceful transfer of power. That's good. That's good. That's good for our country. That's good for the nation. That's good for our military to see. That's good for our agencies to see. We believe and intend to engage in a peaceful transfer of power. Now, the Republicans weren't too pleased about that sort of thing, completely 4 years ago. But they got with it, right? They got with the program, with the plan, and hopefully our Democratic friends can, do the same and tell us their turn next time. They get a turn. And hopefully the Democratic Party will see the error in their ways and create something that's more palatable to a broader swath of the American people. So there's that. Oh my goodness. something, and then there was 8 something, and they were sharing information with each other, and you know, even Alex Jones talked about it, and wow. So we haven't heard much of that lately. Do you see the QAnons anywhere? They haven't come out of the walls. I don't see any of them dripping out of the ceiling. Mickey says they're not down here, they're on the floor. So, turns out, Drudge is reporting there's a new Blue Anon, like QAnon, Blue Anon conspiracy gripping the Democratic Party. So I just have this one thing to say. Get your own ideas, please. It looks bad. Okay. In Oklahoma City, there was a policeman who decided to throw to the ground one of the pillars of the community, Mr. Swan Wong, a Vietnamese community of Oklahoma member. During a traffic stop, the 7-year-old, you know, thrown to the ground because nobody really knows why. Everybody's watched the video. It looks bad. This strong cop just tossing, you know, frail 70-year-old man to the ground. So according to Luc Vu, 71, of the Vietnamese community there in Oklahoma, he says that Vaughn remains in the hospital with a skull fracture. So here's the thing, Oklahoma City PD, time for some remedial training. Don't just train one of them, train them all. Just saying, if you don't want this sort of thing to happen again, you don't like being sued, remedial training, it works, even for the military. So there's that. Oh my God, the world's ending, and I can tell you why right now. It's not nuclear weapons. It really isn't. This is just the absolute worst thing that could ever happen to us from one of our allies. This is horrible. I can't even believe it's happening. It turns out the Guardian of the UK, which is a newspaper, is withdrawing from X. There's just too many things there that are disturbing them, and they were preceded by, you know, when you go to a film festival, you want to see a new movie, and it's usually something shocking that brings you out of, you know, your everyday world. And yeah, the Berlin Film Festival just can't take what's showing up on X. So they've withdrawn from X. And here's a couple real kickers. The Royal National Orthopedic Hospital in London can't take it anymore either. It's just gone beyond the pale, as well as the North Wales Police Force. It's unfathomable. And of course, PBS here in the United States is no longer posting. So, you know, hate speech and abusive commentary, which is basically a presidential election, right? That's what you do. You just say bad things about each other, throw food, popcorn, whatever it is. It's a little abusive. it's a little hateful, but it's our allies. It's more than they can bear. I don't know what we should do for them. Dateline, MSNBC. Hello? Well, they've been put up for sale. Yeah. And over there at CNN, we have some commentators over there that may lose their $10 million a year contracts with CNN. And they have to take a somewhat lower profile, if you will, in the coming year. So yeah, lots of great things going on. Ukraine is throwing a pissy fit. It's a straight up pissy fit. They're going to have nukes for their medium range missiles really soon, so we're being threatened with that. Russia's talking about, erasing Europe. I want people to go to the Sean Ryan show, and there's a lady there by the last name, I think, of Annie, or her first name's Annie Jacobson. So she wrote a book about what happens just prior to a nuclear winter. And basically what she's going to tell you is everything you've been told about those little firecracker nukes, the tactical nukes, is a complete lie. There's no such thing as limited nuclear warfare. So, let's say, well, geez, North Korea just happens to send one over here to the United States, an ICBM, doesn't put a nuke on it, but, here it comes. How are we going to know it doesn't have one? Well, we saw it come off the ground in the boost stage because, well, we put a satellite up above them 500 miles high in geosynchronous orbit to just kind of keep track of these guys because they're a pain. And then it comes up over Russia, across the north, down into North America, does its thing. So from China to here in the United States, the East Coast, down by 30 minutes. 30 minutes and 30 seconds from Beijing. It's like 29, 28 minutes from Moscow. And they have to go through a decision tree. And once they identify this thing is coming up, well, the president's got to be notified. And if the president's like Bill Clinton, and he just didn't want to know about this stuff because, well, it was just a little too disturbing. So he was just going to make his decision at the moment. Something like that could happen. Annie Jacobson explains it in a scenario. Not every scenario, but a scenario, a conservative scenario. She openly says this is very conservative. She didn't talk to people within our nuclear program. The people she talked to were without. They were academics, people around the country. scientists, whatnot, and she was able to piece together how the whole process worked. So go ahead and look at that. These threats are threats. The only problem is it only takes one miscalculation. So let's thank our lucky stars. We're all here. But let's keep in mind, this nuclear program we have had has stopped Europe from fighting World War III for the last 60 years. They would have already done it 60 years ago. They want to do it right now, but they just can't get quite away with it. They all want to squabble. They all want a better family reunion, the elites in Cannes at their film festivals and boat show. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the boat show in Cannes is just marvelous. They have some wonderful, pocket trawlers, expedition ships, all kinds of stuff built by the rich and wealthy, and they're parked all over the ocean out there, and there's these marvelous yachts, and yeah, that's what they do. That's what they're squabbling about. Is they gave like Juan Carlos a special yacht 4 years ago that would do like, I don't know, it was like 35 or 40 knots. It was enough, to put 3 extended families in. And he needed that because okay. No miscalculations, guys. Europe, shut up. All right, sorry. William can be sardonic. So Miki's upset with me. So I come around the corner yesterday, and she's, there at the end of the living room. She's got her miniature Chewies. She's got it, in her paws, her little patty paws, and she's got it up on end, and she's got her head twisted. She's not on her Chewies and making the popping sounds and all the great goodness. The whole top of her head's hot as can be. It's wonderful. It'll give you a brain go. But I tripped. And I fell flat in the middle of the living room floor, and now Miki wants to just watch me from around the corner. She does not want to be fallen upon. It's amazing how fast she got her 110-pound self out of the way. She was spectacular, but she's not too pleased with me right now. So turns out I had a little ear infection and was a little dizzy yesterday and stubbed my toe. And yeah. So that's that with Miss Miki. That's important news. We have some other very important news. Elon. Everybody's heard of Elon Musk from SpaceX and the electric car manufacturer Tesla. And, he's kind of a nerd. And right now he's just kind of going through that whole nerd popularity phase because he was, out stumping for Trump and stuff. So he's got the nerd vibe going on pretty heavy right now. So we're just going to have to just watch that a little bit. Because I think, now I'm not completely sure, and I was watching it on the YouTube, but I could swear he's starting to glow a little bit, just around the edges, feeling great. secondary win going on. He's bought a modest home for $34 million in Texas, where him and his 11 children and their mothers can live and all be under one roof, but divided by walls. You know what I'm saying right there, right? Everybody has their own space, kitchen, stuff, but they're all under one roof, you know, the same hallway, you know, maybe the same golf course, I don't know. But that's got to be a win if you have, like, I don't know, has he got 4 X's and a current or 5 X? It doesn't really matter. The important thing is all 11 kids can see dad and mom, and nobody has to get in the car. I'm thinking that's a win. I don't know if you've ever, you know, been a divorced parent, but if you can avoid driving every other weekend, right, to and from, and get along with, which I can't even really imagine, but it's the kids, right? You got to think of the kids. I think it's a win for them. And he doesn't have to worry about divorcing the other mothers again, because, right? So maybe that's the way to go. It's not polygamy. It's just everybody under a roof with shingles or tiles or something like that, and divided by, you know, hallways and things. So yeah, good on you, Elon. So Elon's on a roll. He is on a roll. In fact, he and Vivek Ramaswamy have been tasked by President Trump to do Doggy. It's actually DOGE. I just call it Doggy. It's the new Department of Government Efficiency. So I used to work for the government, and I really made a lot of angry people around me because I tended to fix things, get things done, move on to the next item, you know, movement. Just stay busy, work hard, go home at night, you know, good feeling about yourself. But wow, can you really make some enemies doing that stuff? Because the longer you have something that needs to be fixed, the more jobs you have available, right? More time, more this, more that. Well, Vivek and Elon are going to try and fix some of that. Hey, they're smart. These guys know how to run business. Good luck, guys. Good luck. If you happen to be successful, I'll just go ahead and cross myself and praise the Lord right now. We'll get that out right now. Okay, what are we doing here now? So there's this betting site, and you can't use it in the United States, and you have to have one of those TMOs or OVGs or whatever it is that you can come in from another country and do the whatever on the digital machine and touch the touches and all that business. And you can bet. You can bet at this company called Polymarket. And there's a CEO of Polymarket, and he was here in New York, and I think it's New York. Maybe it wasn't. Anyway, here in the United States. And they had bet that they had come up with the proportions of likely outcomes of the election. And they were pretty accurate. And this was from a betting site, right? And FBI couldn't take it. Stormed in, kicked him out of bed, took his electronics and the telephone, you know. So now he's got to go another one and say, who's this? Who's this? Who's this? You know, when they call. Anyway, there's that. And they didn't arrest him. They're just going to go through all the electronics because, well, next. Yeah. Erdogan of Turkey, our NATO partner, has severed ties with Israel. So that is kind of the final step before, if there's more provocation, something could go very awry. Now, unlike Hamas and unlike ISIS and Iraq, and for that matter, the Iranian Republican Guard, Turkey has a brutally efficient military force. I'm thinking it's not a good thing. So we sent, let's see, Marco Rubio is going to be at State Department. And the previous governor of Arkansas, I can't remember his name just right now.
Huckabee.
And Huckabee right now is going to be the U.S. ambassador to Israel and will be at the embassy in Jerusalem. So hopefully there's some pragmatism that goes on, because we don't need a wide war in Asia. Nobody needs a wider war in Asia. So let's go through some of the new appointments. Pete Hegseth, he's a commentator on Fox News, prior military. He has been tasked with being the Secretary of Defense. So Secretary of Defense, State Department, DOJ, those are the really big, important, everyday, if you do something, you drop a penny in the wrong place, can have really bad outcomes. So, good luck, guys. So, there's others as well. Stephen Miller is going to be the Deputy Chief of Policy. And, you know, he's pretty good at it. So I'm glad to see him there. Lee Zeldin is going to the EPA. You know, the EPA is a good thing in some ways for like worker safety, knowing what chemicals you're using can have what effects on you, and how to use them properly without, you know, being in danger, stuff like that. That all comes through the EPA. And I don't think they're going to be taking any of that sort of thing apart. But I think there's going to be the opportunity for some more energy extraction going on soon. And Lee is going to make sure that that can happen. Now, we have kind of a surprise to me. I thought Tulsi Gabbard might be over at Department of Veterans Affairs, but she has apparently impressed President Trump, because he's asking her to be the director of national intelligence, and Security. Trying to get there. I don't know. I'll get it. We'll know about it next time. Susie Wiles is going to be the chief of staff. Maybe you've seen her on TV. She's kind of a blonde lady, you know, middle-aged, really sharp-eyed. Yeah, she's really got that grandma power thing going. So, yep, she's going to be the chief of staff. I can just guarantee she'll be a good chief of staff. Now, chief of staff for the president, they are the gatekeeper to the president. Who goes in, who doesn't see the president, which reports are germane for the president, given the current situation in the world right now. All that kind of stuff goes across her desk. It's a big job. So, yeah, if they're talking about the Democrats, that we're not going to have strong women in the Trump administration, this is a strong lady. Matt Gaetz is going to be the Attorney General. Am I seeing that right, Ellie? Matt Gaetz?
Yes.
And Markwayne Mullins is going to be over at Homeland. Is that what it is? I got to relook at Markwayne Mullins, because if Matt Gaetz is the Attorney General, Markwayne Mullins can't be over at DOJ, because that's the Attorney General's office. Anyway, I'll figure that part out. Tom Holman is going to be our border czar. Elise Stefanik over at the UN. Yeah, those are the new and important, I guess, people who have been asked to join this administration. And it's great. It's great that they're going to be there. They've done a lot of work for the campaign. And I don't think this is like because you're a donor or because you were in a campaign. I don't think this is like a nepotism thing. I think they're actually looking for who has the specific traits necessary to be able to really move this administration forward quickly. And, geez, that's all I have for you today. I think that's quite a bit. I'll have more information on Ukraine and China with respect to the Philippines, likely, as well as other reports that come along. But, wow. Yeah, I hope you had a good time. Please remember to hit our thumbs up button and, you know, subscribe if you haven't. We'd like to see you here often. This is, you know, the World War III report. We didn't have a lot of military stuff here. We got a lot of business right here at home right now that's going to affect our military and our place in the world. So this is really a part of the World War III report. So yeah, we'll see you next week at this time. Also, Ellie and I will be back on Friday. There will be trivia, which is a really fun time. You know, you can take the heavy part of your week and just set it aside and do trivia with people in the chat page and stuff like that. And it's fun. It's really fun. And, you know, start your weekend out right. It's all that heavy burden left behind you. Now it's Wednesday. Work day's over, so we're on the downhill slide. So let's slide right into trivia and the Friday reports. So thank you. We'll see you all again Friday, Wednesday, and Monday. Bye-bye. says goodbye too.